Hello there everybody, a very good morning to you and welcome back to another live stream here at Taurex and at Atmos. It's very good to see you all. Hope everyone had a good weekend and is looking forward to a brand new week in the markets, which means hopefully some brand new trades that I can maybe share with you today. And of course, this is my week ahead stream, so we'll do the same sort of thing as we do every week, where we'll be going through the top events to watch out for, where we're expecting to see the majority of the volatility, and also we're going to be looking at some of the top trades as well. So it's good to see you all. We've got people on the YouTube channel and also on the Discord channel. Hello to you all. Osama, hello. Gold, yeah. As always, yeah, no problem. I can take a look at gold for you. We've also got CMO, gold, and dollar yen, of course. Yes. Hello to you, BU. I think it's Curtin over on the YouTube channel. We've got some people with us as well on the Discord channels. It's good to see you all as well on the Atmos and also on the Taurex Discord channels. Very good to see you, and thank you very much for tuning in. So this is the first week of us doing the new schedule, where we're going to be scheduling our streams so you can actually register for them beforehand. So this is our first week of doing that, so we'll be promoting them a little bit more on social media and stuff like that as well. So let's first of all, and obviously, of course, this is as always, as all of these streams are, it's like a more of a live Q&A sort of thing. So if anyone does have any other markets or requests or questions on what's coming up this week, then feel free to put that in the chat section, either on the Discord channel or on YouTube, and I'll be more than happy to help. Shani boy, hello to you. Good to see you. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you are doing well. Let's have a look at now some of the news we had over the weekend. It's been one of those years where we've had lots of high impact news over the weekend, and we wake up to some big gaps in the markets. But this week, I think this is the second week in a row, we haven't really had too much to be say concerned about, but too much to look at in terms of high impact news it's had over the weekend, which has caused some shocks which are not expected of. But the one thing that we've started the week quite positively from a US equities point of view. For a lot, pretty much the global stock market's up quite a lot for a Monday morning, considering it's 4 a.m. UK time or whatever, 7 a.m. UK time. So I think it's really down to the fact that the one thing we need to be looking at is any progress in the peace talks, US-Ukraine meeting in Saudi ahead of a meaningful Russia ceasefire talk. So this is going on in Riyadh. This is pretty much live. So this is it's starting as I'm streaming. So any of the updates that we see from this, then I'll be letting you know in the Discord channel. Any of those updates that could really be causing some market moves, I'll make sure that I update you on that. But I'm going to drop the link for this live sort of blog, so you can keep up to tabs with things yourself. Because generally speaking, what we're looking at here is if we see any progress in the peace talks, it's going to feed into some sort of positive sentiment on the global equities point of view. I don't know how much upside there is, and we're going to do some technical analysis on the likes of the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq to see if we can basically make a move up towards that 200-day moving average, which we've spoken about quite a lot over the last few weeks. So the talks on Sunday come ahead of a meeting of a US and Russian delegation in the Saudi capital later today. Donald Trump's personal envoy, who has criticised Sir Keir Starmer's coalition of the willing plans as posture and pose, said he believes the Russian president wants peace. But there's going to be a lot of storylines and a lot of narrative coming out of this. So it's really important that we try and stay on top of what's going on there. Okay. So just with that in mind, when you actually look at, if I'm on the charts now, when you have a look at some of the moves that we're seeing from a global equities point of view, we can see across the board, look, the Nasdaq's up nearly 1%, the S&P 500 is up 0.8, the Dow Jones is up 0.7, and the German stock index is up 0.5% as well. And normally on a Monday, it's quite rare that you see such a big move. So I do think it's to do with that positive sentiment. But if I just start on the Nasdaq and I move this down, okay, and I zoom in a little bit so you can see. We're going to get rid of these moving averages, and we're going to add this 200-day moving average. And you can see the analysis that I've had in place for quite some time. We spoke about this pretty much, I think, at the beginning of last week when we were creating this bottom in the Nasdaq, and it was that we were looking for a move basically up towards this 200-day moving average, and then for that to act as our resistance. Why? Because when you scroll back in time, you can see how we've had this 200-day moving average. The last time we broke down below it was back in 2022 when we had that bearish year, and we saw that act as a resistance level, and it actually created a really good selling opportunity. So what I'm looking for is really something similar. A move up towards 2,350. So if you like the upside here, there's about 400 points on offer. Where could we get this from? And I know some of you have said this in the Discord channel. We can see, if I mark this correctly, FVG, from the weekend, from Friday's close to Monday's open, we created this gap in the markets. Okay, so when we created the gap here, down towards this fair value gap, we can now potentially look for a move up towards, where was it? This daily target of 20,000, let's say 2350. That can be sort of our bullish target. And to start the week, we could look for some buys. And look to go long. I'd probably say from the open of the fair value gap. And what's that? That's a 4.7 to 1 risk reward trade idea. Trying to catch on to that momentum from over the weekend. So I do like that, but I do think those gains will be capped around this area, and I think we'll see some resistance. So I think this makes it a potentially good long opportunity if you are looking to be bullish on the stock market. And I think you can probably say a really similar trade on all three. I'll mark them all out for you. Well, actually, no, look. The US 30 is actually coming back above its 200-day moving average. That's not... That makes it a really good... Actually makes it a really good trade idea. FEG. Okay. Again, something that looks like that. And then the S&P 500. Where are we now? So we're still a bit far away from its 200-day moving average. So say 5770. And these are like your Monday fair value gap trades. So basically, it's just where Friday's closed at this price and Monday opened at this price. It creates a gap over the weekend, and these can be used as great support or resistance levels. That's as simple as it is. What did we say? 5770. I wonder what the risk reward on that is. So we're looking at for something like that. 5770. Let's draw our long position on. It's about a 3 to 1 risk reward. So the best risk reward that we've got really is probably from either the US 30 or the Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq, as we target that 200-day moving average on the hourly time frame, you can see that probably is our best risk reward. I think it's about 4.7 or 5 to 1 risk reward. So that's an early trade in which you could look for the beginning of this week. Okay, cool. Let me go through some of the requests now, because I know some people want, maybe not interested in the stock market, but more on the likes of gold and dollar yen. Okay, gold and dollar yen. Should we start on gold? Wow. When was that? Friday at 3 o'clock. I missed that. Man, that's annoying. I don't know if Osama used on my stream last week when we spoke about gold. And we said about how that 3,000 level could be the a great support level. There it is. Clean break above 3,000, topped out about 3,050, came down and hit three. I can imagine there's a lot of people who managed to get in on that trade down at 3,000. Okay. Okay, create this sort of triangle pattern. This could be something for gold, for you guys who have requested it. We could see a move back above this. I'll retest, and then got 3,060 in mind there. So it's about a 2.4 to 1 risk reward. It's not too bad. What I want to see now is I want to go maybe down onto like an hourly time frame, right? And what we want to see, I've traded this on gold before. For those who are on my streams at the beginning of the year, would know that I caught a very similar pattern on gold right at the beginning of the year. Imagine if I'd held on to it. So what we want to see is this. Break above it, a retest, and then we look to potentially target, 3,060 or at least the all-time highs here at 3,050 and potentially further. So that's how I'd play gold. It's not quite ready yet. What we might see is we might see this trend line act as resistance. We might see a move back down towards 3,005. If someone's looking for gold to go down to 2,950, well, I think if we get a breakdown below 3,000, for me, I'm looking for 2,920, which is where this daily order block is. So I'm willing to take a risk, even though its prices are obviously quite elevated. I'm willing to take the risk here and try and go long should we get a breakout of that 4-hour pattern. But if we get a breakdown below it, I could potentially play a sell down towards 2,920. So there's actually some really nice trades on gold coming soon. So I'm going to keep my eye on that one. Okay, good stuff. Right. So, what was the other one? Dollar yen. Yeah, there are some nice setups on gold. I do like them. Okay, what do we have here on dollar yen? I still think that on dollar yen, this 150 area. I'm just noticing on a few occasions now, 150 there, 150 there, and 150 here. You can see how that's acted as a resistance level. So I think that should we get a break above 150, I think that opens up the room for a move up to 151. If this, for me, this is the big high. I've had this high marked for a while. This is for me the high in which, should we get a break above this high, was it March's high, 151.3? That's the confirmation of a bullish reversal, a proper bullish reversal on the higher time frames on dollar yen. I think as long as if we stay below that level, like we are at the moment, still think we're probably favouring more bearish setups, because you can see there's not much momentum to the upside here. You can see we've broken down below this swing low, and it looks potentially like this is a pullback potentially for another leg lower on the daily time frame. Doesn't mean you can't see any good setups, but I think if we overcome 150, we can potentially trade long up to 151. But here I think will be some big resistance, right? And in fact, you can actually see a bearish order block in here, or supply zone. And actually what might be the more sensible trade is something that looks like that. The reason that we're seeing these currencies, there's not much momentum on either side here on dollar yen, because they're actually both fairly strong at this short-term moment. I'm actually looking for a dollar pullback, a dollar bullish pullback. DXY. I think we're definitely in an accumulation period, in a pause period, but you can see the market has bottomed out. And also we have got, this is the dollar index. We have got a liquidity grab there. And we've now seen a move higher. If you drop down to the 1 hour time frame, you can see we are starting to see some buyers step in here. But I don't think it's the best play against the yen. I think I'd rather play it against the euro or against the pound. In fact, I'm actively trying to look to play it against the pound, to be honest. Look at this. You've got to bear in mind it's a Monday as well. This is a bearish divergence, liquidity grab. I'm seeing a lot of confluence here for a move lower. Okay, so you can see it's high up here. I think I'd be willing to take a short position just above this high. Might sell above this wick. Maybe look for something like this. The risk reward here is fantastic because you can see you've had a breakout of this channel. Look at this. This is an absolute beast of a setup. So let's keep an eye on it, because often what I found is that the Monday, in the years that I've been trading, is that the Monday move is never the true move. So this is just an early Monday trade, right? There's no real momentum here, I don't think. I like the fact we've had a breakout below. I think you can see the same on Eurodollar. Where is Eurodollar? It's probably not as strong, actually. There we go. Same sort of thing. That's really what I'm looking for. That's like my, if you're watching, this is my favourite play of this week. It's just a bit more of a swing position, I think. And I think what we'd look for is something like this. So what I might do is split my risk out between the cable and Eurodollar, and basically look for this reversal, so this dollar strength to come back into play. We shall see. I'm getting evidence of that. I'm seeing a breakout of these ascending channels. There's initial signs of a move lower. I'm seeing liquidity grabs on both markets on the top side. I'm seeing a liquidity grab on the sell side on the dollar index as well. So there's quite a lot of evidence and confluence here that we could be seeing a reversal. So let's see how it goes. I'll continue to monitor. I've got another stream on Wednesday where I'm going to come and provide an update to this to see how we're getting on. But these are the sort of favourite trades that I've got for this week. So there's quite a lot, isn't there? We've got some great setups on gold. We've got some good setups on the stock market as well. Potentially counter trend long. We've also got that. potential for downside of those 200-day moving averages. And I like euro dollar and pound dollar to the downside, which is a potential trade that's shaping up over the next 24 hours. I just want to quickly point you in the right direction in terms of like specific news events for this week. So it's very important that we stay up to date with what's coming out. It's a bit of a mess this week with PMI data. Today with PMI data, so I won't worry too much about that. As we move into Tuesday, there isn't too much either. But Wednesday's a very important day because we've got the budget release from the UK alongside the inflation print in the UK as well. So when you look at that pound dollar trade, there should be volatility in the pound this week with the consumer price index data, which is expected to be at 3.6%, down from 3.7, so a fall in inflation. So that would be, that's the core 3%. I haven't got the forecast for that, but we'll see. Obviously, then if we're looking for pound weakness, we're looking for sort of a negative reaction from the budget statement, and also slightly softer inflation print that could help our pound dollar downside this week. As we move into Thursday, we've got inflation data out of Japan, and we've got GDP figures out of the US. So again, plenty of volatility, plenty of high impact news that we've got coming out of the US in the form of GDP, but also some inflation prints out of the Bank of Japan, out of Japan, which puts the Japanese yen into the action as well. So that's an interesting one. And then on Friday, we've got more UK data. So there's always 1 week in the month where we get like quite a lot of UK data, and it's this week. And on top of that, we've got the budget statement release. So I'm expecting a lot of volatility in the pound. So it could be a market which could be great to trade this week, to be honest. And yeah, because we've got GDP figures again, so economic growth figures on Friday morning, retail sales figures, and then we end the week with the core PCE price index, which is the Fed's primary gauge of inflation. So it's not really a massive central bank week, but there's quite a lot there. There's enough there that I think we'll continue to see some great trading opportunities, and I've been through the ones that I like the most. Is euro dollar correlating with gold, or it's a myth? I don't think it does really. Let's have a look. Let's go back to 2024. What's this daily time frame? No, I wouldn't. Euro dollar falls there. No, I don't see much correlation there, to be honest, Osama, because this is the gold price down at the bottom, and we can basically see. Okay, and then what happened to euro dollar in that time? I don't see much correlation there. I don't see any correlation there. So that is a myth. Yeah, I don't see that one, if I'm being honest. I'm actually going to release a really interesting post on LinkedIn today in regard to, for those who are into their fundamentals, in regards to the performance of the S&P 500 when the Fed has started to cut rates. You'll be very, very interested to see. So I'll maybe go through that on Wednesday's stream. I'll post it and I'll drop the link in the Discord channel, but I'll then go through the charts on the stream on Wednesday. Okay, good stuff. If you are watching on YouTube and you are not in any of the Discord channels, or you're missing out because you're not getting the trade ideas as I place them, or the other community members' trade ideas as well, and giveaways that we're doing in there, you can scan the QR code on the screen in front of you to join that. So feel free to do that. I'll just sort of give it a minute to see if there's any other questions. Anyone else have any questions on the markets this week? Feel free to drop them in now, and I'll go through them. Just do let me know. And just make sure for Wednesday stream, YouTube channel, the Trade Taurex YouTube channel. Make sure you turn that notification icon on. I do always drop a link in the Discord channel before I go live, but it'd be good to. It's always good to have your notifications. Just click the little notify me on the stream, and it will send you a notification to your device when I'm about to go live. So make sure you do that as well. That's for Wednesday stream. There isn't a stream in place for Friday. Last Friday I was very busy sorting out all of these graphics and stuff. So there's a few extra bits to do, but we will throw an extra stream in there or two at some point. So we're doing roughly 2 or 3 streams per week, and we may start introducing some giveaways on the streams as well going forward. So this is just the beginning. So maybe in the future we can start to introduce that. Okay. Right, good stuff. Okay, that was your week ahead analysis. Thank you very much to those who tuned in today. I don't know what happened with the clock down on this right hand side. I'll go and fix that now. If you do have any other questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to me on Discord, and I'll be more than happy to help. Until then, trade well, trade safe, and I will see you for, is it Wednesday stream? Yes, I'll see you then. Thank you.